Welcome back to problem number 2 of the PreCal diagnostic test. This one is a fairly simple question. It says to factor and simplify this function, and we have a trinomial over a trinomial. Now, if a trinomial will factor, it will factor into two binomials, and we know that it will because the problem tells us to factor. So we're going to put two sets of parentheses for each of these trinomials, and in the first blank of each of the parentheses, we're going to put x's because in our hippity-hoppity distributive property, x times x is where we get this x squared at the beginning of both trinomials, okay? We are going to find numbers to go on the other side of these binomials, and the way that we're going to find those numbers is that they're going to need to multiply together to make these c values and add together to make these b values. So multiply to the third number in the trinomial and add to make the second number in the trinomial. But we can get a couple of hints going. I know if I'm going to have two numbers multiplying to make a negative number, that one of them will have to be positive, the other will have to be negative. I know that if they are going to add together and make a positive number, that the larger of the two is going to be positive. Okay, and then down here, I know that if I'm multiplying to make a positive number, the signs will have to be the same. But if they're going to add to make a negative, well, then that means that both of the numbers will have to be negative. Okay, so the hard part is coming up with what these numbers are going to be. Now, if I have trouble coming up with these numbers, I just make a list of all the combinations of numbers that multiply to make it. All right, so there's 1 times 78. There is 2 times 39. There is 3 times, 3 goes into 7 twice with 1 left over. It goes into 18 6 times, so 3 times 26. 4 is not going to go into 78 because 4 goes into 80, which is, too close, right? 5 doesn't go in. 6 will go in because both 2 and 3 will go in. 6 goes into 7 once with 1 left over and into 18 3 times. And 7 doesn't go in, 8 doesn't go in, 9 doesn't go in, 10, 11, 12, and then we're back to 13. So I think these are all the combinations of numbers. And since I know the larger one's can be positive, the smaller one has to be negative. And I look and see which of these adds up to positive 7, and that's going to be negative 6 and positive 13. So I put the negative 6 here, I put the positive 13 here, and then I move on to the bottom. Okay, 24. Some of you probably already know what those numbers are, but there's 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and those are all the different combinations of numbers. And I know they're both going to be negative this time. They're going to add up to 10, and 4 and 6 are going to be those two numbers. Now, once you have both of the trinomials factored, if you have something on the top and the bottom, they're going to cancel each other out because if you divide them by each other, it equals 1, and 1 times anything is itself. So x minus 6 divided by x minus 6 is 1. And so we have x plus 13 over x minus 4, which is actually going to be our answer. X plus 13 divided by x minus 4. That's our correct answer. And that concludes number 2. I'll see you guys for number 3.